everyone. Subscribe and spread the word. We're making super delicious food in this channel. So let everybody know. Share with your friends and family. So what are we doing today? We're doing this boneless pork chops or pork loin in a bed of onions and potatoes and all that. So here we have a whole pork loin that we cut in like chop sizes. I think these are a little bit too thick, so I'm gonna just split them in half. So you can buy this at buy the whole loin and then slice it like this, or you can buy the boneless pork chops, which is the same thing. And then I like it thin like this. You could leave it thick if you like. It's gonna be super delicious anyway. So, but I like to make it thin this way, so it's a lot easier to cook. It cooks a lot faster. So I'm gonna split them all in half, just like that. And you see how that I split them all? Now I have a lot of mini thin pork chops here. I'm gonna use some salt and pepper here. You could use the seasoning of your liking. This is to your taste. I like salt and pepper, and I'm also gonna use an all-purpose seasoning. So this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do salt and pepper on both sides. So I flip them over and I do the same thing on the other side. Salt and pepper in this case will be on both sides. Remember, you can customize the recipe any way you want or use any seasoning that you like or prefer. I'm just giving you the idea for a super delicious plate here. So I'm gonna sprinkle salt and pepper on both sides. And then I'm gonna use this all-purpose seasoning here, complete seasoning. And I'm gonna only sprinkle this on one side because I don't want a lot. I don't want this to be too salty, so I'm gonna sprinkle the all-purpose seasoning on just on one side, not on both sides. The salt and pepper was on both sides. So now that we have this season, we're gonna put this aside. Now we're gonna go to start making our plate here, layer by layer. So I have some potatoes here, about six medium-sized potatoes. I'm gonna peel them up. So start peeling potatoes, and now we're gonna grate them. So you're gonna grate all these potatoes as many as you need to cover the bottom part of whatever uh, bowl you're using your baking pan. So I'm using six mediums in this size. You might need less. You might need more. So you grate them all. You grate them all. In this case, I'm grating six here. So you grate them like that, all of them, and this is how it should look. Once you're done, you should have a mountain of grated potatoes. There you go. A mountain of grated potatoes. Now these you have to clean. So and just wash them a little bit. So I'm gonna put them in this bowl here, and I'm gonna add some cold water. I'm gonna add some cold water to take some of that starch out. So I'm gonna use cold water here. I'm gonna add cold water until I actually cover the potatoes, and we're gonna watch this a little bit and let it take the starch out of the potatoes for a few minutes. So you use cold water just like that. You cover all the potatoes, and now you give it a little move, not too much. We don't want this to be a washing machine, but you want to make sure that they release some of that starch all over. So once you're done, you let it sit for about 2 minutes, and now we're gonna strain them. So you could use any strainer that you have. I have this one here. You strain them, and now we're gonna try to squeeze all the water that we can out of it. You don't want water in your baking pan. So you want to squeeze all the water that you can from the potatoes, just like that. Squeeze them, and now we're gonna go. And here's my baking pan here. I'm gonna use this glass one. I'm gonna put some olive oil in the bottom here, the bottom of my pan here. I'm gonna brush it to make sure that the all the bottom of my pan here is oiled or greasy. I'm using olive oil. You can use any oil that you like. I'm gonna just put the potatoes there, simple and easy. And we're gonna try to make a bed here. The bottom part of this pan is gonna be covered with potatoes, and we're gonna make this tight. So keep it tight, keep it tight. Push down, a thin layer of just potatoes, just like that. A thin layer of potatoes. Now I'm gonna add some olive oil on top. Don't go crazy here, just a little bit like that. And then we're gonna add some salt and pepper for flavor as well. Again, you can use any seasoning you like, but if you follow my recipe, it's gonna be good. So it's up to you. Salt and pepper on top of the olive oil and the potatoes there, and I'm gonna put some cheese here. I'm using these four cheese. You can use any cheese of your liking, but don't go crazy on this layer because we're gonna put more cheese on top. So this is just to make it, bind with everything else. Here we have some mushrooms. I mean, if you don't like mushrooms, just leave it out. This is the good thing about this recipe. You can leave out any ingredients that you don't like, or you can even add any other ingredients that you like. So we're gonna cut a full onion here, and if you don't like any of these ingredients, you just leave them out or use something different. I'm just giving you the general idea of how to cook this pork. So you chop a whole onion there. I'm gonna also put some spinach here, like the full leaves of spinach, just like that, full leaves. Yeah, full leaves of spinach here, not chopped, just the full leaves there on top of the mushrooms. And now I'm gonna put the onions on top of everything. So again, you can leave any of these out, but this is just my idea. This is how I like it, how my family like it, my friends. So they love it. I know whenever I do this, they love it. So you spread the onions on the bottom there on top of everything else. And now on top of the onions, you're gonna put your pork chops here. So you take your pork chops and you're gonna cover the top of it. That's why you gotta make sure that you have enough pork chops to cover the entire pan, depending on the size of the pan. This is a rectangular one. You might have a smaller one or whatever. Here you have 10 total uh, pork chops here. I'm gonna use some plain yogurt here. Plain yogurt, and I'm gonna put yogurt on top of each of these beautiful, beautiful pork chops. Boneless pork chops or pork loin, however you want to call it. It is the same thing. So you're gonna spread the yogurt all over, and I'm gonna cut some cilantro. You can use cilantro, or you can use parsley. Most of these actually, this cilantro gives it a nice flavor, but this is most for the look. So anything green there will look great. And we're gonna sprinkle some of this cilantro all over the yogurt, and just like that, sprinkle the cilantro or parsley, whatever you prefer. And then I'm gonna use some just plain Alfredo sauce, and then I'm gonna over everything with the Alfredo sauce. This is almost the top layer, but we're gonna add a few things extras at the end. So I'm gonna add Alfredo. You can use the whole yard here, or you can use 3/4. I like it, so I'm gonna put the whole thing there. Yeah, it's me, so I like it that way. Just put the whole yard in there, Alfredo sauce, and now we're gonna go crazy with the cheese here on top. So you can use as much cheese as you want on top, and this is gonna be the gooey part at the end. So use any cheese that you like, and you're just gonna make sure that cheese goes all over everything there. And this is how it should look at the end with the cheese on top. There you go, nice layer of shredded cheese on top. And now we're gonna cover this aluminum foil. Just make sure that the aluminum covers the whole thing. If you need 2 pieces of aluminum, then use two. But in this case, I'm gonna be good with just one. So just make sure that it's tight because you don't want anything coming out of there. So we're gonna bake these 375 Fahrenheit for about 20-30 minutes. 20 to 30 minutes. And after 20 to 30 minutes, this is how gooey it is. You're gonna take the aluminum foil out and we're gonna broil this. Take the aluminum foil off, broil in low, right under the fire there until you get the nice dots of burnt cheese, just like that. Look at how beautiful that thing, gooey. Look at that color. This is precious. This is where I want to stop. So you take it out of the oven, and this is ready to be served. So I'm gonna actually add a little bit of green onions here, just like that on top. This is also optional, but I like the way it actually looks. I don't know, but I love the way it looks. And now we're gonna pre-cut this. So you have 10 pork chops here. So we're gonna make sure that we cut all the way to the bottom. The potatoes are on the bottom. Remember, the potatoes has a layer on the bottom. So we're gonna cut this all individually, just like that. And some people might want two. Some people might just want one. So we're gonna pre-cut them one by one and then plate them. Look how beautiful it looks. You plate them, and I use some salad here on the side. This is my preference. You can eat this with whatever, or you can eat this alone. Look how beautiful this thing. Gooey cheese, potatoes in the bottom, the pork chops on top. I hope you enjoy it because this is a great, 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 great plate. Hope you enjoy it. Subscribe, like, and share with your friends and family. Until next time.